High in the desolate Altiplano of Bolivia, nestled among windswept plains and unforgiving landscapes, lies a site that defies easy explanation: Puma Punku. Its very existence is a riddle, a haunting testament to a civilization that possessed skills and knowledge that continue to baffle modern engineers and archaeologists. Imagine blocks of stone, some weighing over 100 tons, meticulously cut with laser-like precision. Think of perfect right angles, surfaces so smooth they reflect the harsh Andean sun, and interlocking mechanisms that speak of a mastery of engineering principles we often attribute to much later periods. Now consider this. Conventional history attributes this construction to the Tiwanaku culture, a people who supposedly possessed only rudimentary tools: stone hammers, bronze chisels, and an abundance of manpower. Puma Punku presents a glaring paradox. How could a civilization, supposedly limited by its technology, achieve such feats of architectural and engineering prowess? The site's location only deepens the mystery. Perched at an altitude of nearly 13,000 feet, the Altiplano is a harsh environment, characterized by thin air, extreme temperatures, and limited resources. The logistical challenges of transporting and manipulating such massive stones in this environment seem insurmountable, even with modern equipment. The nearest known quarries are miles away, requiring the transportation of these colossal blocks across uneven and often treacherous terrain. Conventional theories suggest the use of ramps, rollers, and sheer brute force. But the scale of the undertaking strains credulity. The sheer number of workers required, the organization needed to coordinate such an effort, and the time it would have taken to complete the construction raise serious doubts about the feasibility of these methods. Furthermore, the materials themselves pose a significant challenge. Puma Punku is primarily constructed from two types of stone: a reddish sandstone and, more importantly, a gray andesite. Andesite is an incredibly hard volcanic rock, ranking just below quartz on the Mohs hardness scale. This means it's notoriously difficult to work with, even with modern tools. To carve and shape it with the primitive tools allegedly available to the Tiwanaku seems almost impossible. The level of precision observed at Puma Punku, the flawless cuts, the perfectly flat surfaces, the intricate interlocking mechanisms, suggests the use of advanced machinery that simply shouldn't have existed at that time. For generations, experts have grappled with these questions, proposing various theories, ranging from the plausible to the outright fantastical. Some suggest that the Tiwanaku possessed lost technologies, perhaps even knowledge passed down from a previous, more advanced civilization. Others propose alternative construction methods, such as the use of a geopolymer or liquid stone technology, where the andesite was somehow dissolved and recast into molds. However, scientific evidence to support these theories remains elusive. The truth is that traditional explanations for Puma Punku's construction have consistently fallen short. They fail to adequately address the sheer scale of the undertaking, the level of precision achieved, and the logistical challenges involved. The conventional narrative, attributing the site to the Tiwanaku and their rudimentary tools, simply doesn't hold up under scrutiny. This has led to a growing sense of unease among researchers. Are we underestimating the capabilities of ancient civilizations? Are we overlooking crucial pieces of evidence that could shed light on the mysteries of Puma Punku? Or are we asking the wrong questions altogether? The questions surrounding Puma Punku are not merely academic. They challenge our understanding of human history, our assumptions about the capabilities of ancient societies, and our perception of the limits of human ingenuity. The site stands as a silent enigma, a testament to a past that continues to elude us, a puzzle that begs to be solved. It demands a new approach, a fresh perspective, and a willingness to challenge conventional wisdom. Once the artificial intelligence got to work, it didn't care about reputation, ancient legends, or long-held academic theories. It didn't see stones, it saw data. Vectors, chemical traces, mathematical ratios, even celestial coordinates. From that digital chaos, something extraordinary took shape. For the first time ever, Puma Punku reconstructed itself. For centuries, archaeologists have walked among collapsed walls and scattered megaliths, trying to guess what the original buildings might have looked like. But guessing comes with bias. The AI had no such problem. By comparing thousands of tool marks and matching broken fragments like pieces of the world's most difficult jigsaw puzzle, it digitally snapped everything back together. What emerged was not a simple courtyard or temple. According to the model, Puma Punku was once a massive, multi-level architectural marvel. It featured a raised platform mound, several interior chambers, gateways connected by corridors, and a complex system of channels. Some channels, it found, were carved with such precision that water would have flowed through them at specific rates, forming large, shallow pools. Positioned just right, those pools could reflect the night sky, suggesting ceremonial observations of the heavens using water as a giant mirror. But that was only the beginning. The most shocking thing the AI uncovered wasn't about appearance. It was about process. Puma Punku wasn't constructed stone by stone in a random tribal fashion. It was manufactured. Like a modern car factory, the site depended on interchangeable modular components. It found that 45 of the famous andesite H blocks were carved off a single master template. The spacing of grooves, angles, and recesses was mathematically identical within thousandths of an inch. That implied standardization, almost like a factory assembly line. The AI went further to identify a core group of roughly 19 separate block types, which repeated across the entire site. Combined in different ways, these building blocks formed walls, gateways, terraces, water systems, everything. In other words, Puma Punku was not random masonry. It was a giant construction kit designed centuries before the idea of prefabrication even existed. Once it recreated the complex in three-dimensional space, the AI started running mathematical analysis across the site. That's when it found another layer: geometry. Over and over, the site revealed very particular proportions, ratios like 1 to 1.618, better known as the golden ratio, famous as a mathematical expression of beauty and harmony. The AI traced that ratio through doorway heights, slab widths, and even through distances between gateways. It became clear the builders didn't just want the structure to stand, they wanted it to express principles of sacred geometry. Then the AI cross-matched the architecture against both solar and stellar alignments. Yes, as previous scholars believed, major alignments linked to the solstices and equinoxes were present. But astonishingly, the AI found more subtle alignments pointing to constellations, polar star paths, even lunar standstill positions, and, most intriguingly, positions of the night sky as seen around the 6th century AD. The conclusion was haunting. Puma Punku wasn't just a ceremonial site. It was a giant astronomical machine, a clock not for hours or days, but for centuries. And then it got darker. Using those astronomical alignments and mathematical constants, the AI proposed that Puma Punku might not have been designed to simply observe, but to predict. By simulating movements of the heavens encoded in its layout, the software detected a repeating cycle, one that seemed to point toward rare cosmic disruptions, meteor showers, asteroid debris streams, or cometary returns that could threaten Earth. In other words, Puma Punku might have served as a warning mechanism, recording a pattern of cosmic danger and alerting future generations to these recurring celestial events. The AI then turned its attention to the destruction of the site. Traditionally, the scattered stones are attributed to earthquakes, weathering, or looting over centuries. But the debris field didn't behave like typical earthquake damage. The direction and dispersion suggested something far more violent and sudden. The AI calculated the kinetic force required to throw multi-ton stones the distances observed, and found it consistent with explosive airbursts or catastrophic flooding. Essentially, the very type of event the site might have predicted could have also destroyed it. The revelation shook researchers to their core because it didn't require extraterrestrials or science fiction. It spoke of something far scarier, a lost human intelligence, a culture 1,500 years ago, or possibly even older, that achieved a level of engineering and astronomical understanding that rivals what we call advanced today. A culture capable of designing modular construction sites, precise prefabricated stone systems, and time-tracking devices connected to the heavens. And then, they disappeared. No gradual decline, no written manuals left by. What makes Puma Punku so profoundly unsettling isn't confined to those meticulously crafted stones in Bolivia. It's the unnerving feeling that this site is merely one piece of a much larger, far stranger puzzle. It's not an isolated anomaly, a rogue data point in the grand narrative of human history. Across the globe, separated by continents and millennia, we find other megalithic sites, each echoing the same bewildering characteristics. Colossal stones seemingly beyond the capacity of their purported builders, precision cuts bordering on the impossible, and astronomical alignments hinting at a deeper, more profound understanding of the cosmos. Consider Machu Picchu, perched high in the Peruvian Andes. Renowned as the lost city of the Incas, its postcard perfect, terraces often overshadow the truly remarkable aspects of its construction. Peer closer, and you'll see those telltale walls crafted from granite blocks, fitting together with such uncanny precision that even a razor blade struggles to find. Purchase. No mortar, no cement, just raw stone interlocked with breathtaking accuracy. And here's the twist. Machu Picchu supposedly dates to the 15th century, significantly later than Puma Punku. Yet the style of its stonework resonates with techniques observed at much older sites, like Sacsayhuaman. Is this merely convergent evolution of construction methods, or did the Incas inherit skills and knowledge from a predecessor civilization, now lost to the mists of time? Puma Punku compels us to confront these uncomfortable questions. But if hauling multi-ton blocks to a mountaintop in Peru seems extraordinary, then Baalbek in Lebanon enters a whole new realm of astonishment. On a windswept plateau in the Becaue Valley stands one of the most awe-inspiring feats of ancient construction, the Roman temple complex of Heliopolis. Yet the true marvels lie buried beneath, within its very foundations, the so-called trilithon stones. 3 gargantuan limestone blocks, each weighing over 800 tons, form part of the base platform. To put that into perspective, each block outweighs a fully loaded Boeing 747. And nearby sits the stone of the pregnant woman, a single block tipping the scales at over 1,000 tons. Modern cranes would strain to lift it. Ancient engineers purportedly quarried it, shaped it, and transported it. But how? The Romans' prowess is undeniable, but could the platform predate Rome entirely? Again, we're faced with a site that refuses to fit neatly into the established narrative. Then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a site that throws the entire timeline of human civilization into disarray. Discovered in the 1990s and dated to around 11,000 years ago, Göbekli Tepe predates not only the pyramids of Egypt, but also writing, agriculture, and even the wheel. And what do we find there? Impeccably carved T-shaped limestone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, arranged in circular enclosures adorned with intricate carvings of animals. According to conventional wisdom, people of that era were simple hunter-gatherers, lacking cities, advanced planning, and monumental architecture. Yet Göbekli Tepe stands as irrefutable evidence to the contrary. Its builders possessed not only the organizational capacity to construct these circles, but also the astronomical awareness to align them with celestial events. It's as if knowledge appeared far earlier than our textbooks suggest, then somehow vanished, only to resurface millennia later. And of course, we cannot overlook the pyramids of Egypt. The Great Pyramid of Giza, erected more than 4,000 years ago, remains one of the most studied and yet least understood monuments in history. Its base is aligned almost perfectly to true north, with an astonishing accuracy of mere fractions of a degree. The structure is composed of over 2 million limestone blocks, some weighing up to 15 tons each, transported and meticulously set in place with a precision that seems to defy the capabilities of the tools attributed to its builders. And here's where the plot thickens. The pyramid encodes mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio, and its layout mirrors the alignment of Orion's belt in the night sky. As with Puma Punku, the message seems to be etched in stone. This was no random endeavor. It was designed with purpose, knowledge, and a profound fascination with the cosmos. When these sites, Machu Picchu, Baalbek, Göbekli Tepe, the pyramids, and Puma Punku, are viewed in conjunction, a pattern begins to emerge. Different continents, different cultures, different epochs, yet the same perplexing stonework, the same obsession with precise geometry, and the same profound connection to the heavens. Did these civilizations independently stumble upon the same knowledge? Or are we perhaps looking at fragments of something far grander, a global legacy of forgotten science, scattered like breadcrumbs through the corridors of time? This is where Puma Punku becomes even more chilling. The AI reconstruction reveals that it wasn't just a random collection of tumbled blocks. It was a system, a planned, modular, mathematically precise system constructed with a level of sophistication comparable to that seen in the Great Pyramid or Göbekli Tepe. Except here, the precision and prefabrication are elevated to an entirely different plane. It's as if the builders were operating with a mindset far closer to modern engineering than ancient trial-and-error stonework. And here's the crucial point. While sites like Machu Picchu and Baalbek might raise eyebrows, Puma Punku tears down the facade of historical certainty. Unlike those other sites, which at least possess some semblance of cultural continuity, the Incas, the Egyptians, the Romans, Puma Punku eludes clean categorization within the established timeline. The Tiwanaku may have utilized it, but the weight of evidence suggests they were not its architects. So, if not the Tiwanaku, then who? And more importantly, what became of them? That's the uncomfortable truth that the AI laid bare. Puma Punku may not be just another enigmatic ruin. It could be the missing piece of a global jigsaw puzzle, tangible proof that there once existed a civilization capable of feats that we can barely comprehend today, and that their fingerprints are scattered across the world in the form of impossible stones.